Good afternoon, everybody. If you're new to the channel, my name is Gary, and this is Tech by GP. Today is Monday, the 22nd of October in 2018, and tomorrow is the big drawing for the Mega Millions $1.6 billion jackpot. So I thought it was going to be interesting to put together sets of numbers from a year's worth of past Mega Millions lottery drawings. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that for fun, coming right up. Welcome back. So here we are on the Mega Millions page for search winning numbers, and I've already pulled up a year's worth of past lottery winning numbers from November 2017 to October 2018. So from here, we're gonna pull up a spreadsheet, and then we're gonna transfer these numbers onto the spreadsheet. Now, mind you, I'm doing this on a Mac, and when I tried to copy and paste numbers from this website using a PC onto Excel, it didn't work. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to do that on the PC. It used to work even with uh, just a table on Yahoo. I was able to do that a long time ago on Excel, but for some reason right now it's not doing that. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to do that. But aside from that, if I can I right now I can copy and paste this from this site onto my spreadsheet. So let's pull it up real quick. All right. So we have this sheet. Okay. So let's go back to the site. Okay. So I'm going to highlight all of this all the way down, and got that highlighted. Command C to copy. Go back to the spreadsheet. Command V. There you go. See, it's so easy to do it on here. For some reason, it's crazy right now on the PC. I can't seem to get it done over there, but over here it's really easy. It's just copy and paste. But so how I like to do this, I like to create a space and kind of label the numbers and the mega numbers, and I'm gonna get rid of the megaplier and the details column here. So I'm going to insert a row. Okay, so this is N1, number 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and the mega number. Okay, and then we're gonna get rid of the megaplier. That's not important for this one. Okay. So in this video, we're going to use some formulas to handle different issues that we're going to find in the spreadsheet. And it's going to be pretty interesting, I think. So it's going to be some techniques that you guys can use in different spreadsheets that you might run into. So I think this is going to be a great practice, even though this is for the lottery. The techniques that we're going to use here can be used anywhere else. So just to be thorough, we're going to see how many times a number comes up in this set. So so the way you do that is, so I like to lay it out a certain way. So over here I'll create a so this is going to be number, and this is going to be frequency. So how many times it comes up in this set. and I'm not going to include the mega numbers because the regular numbers, the first five numbers, it's 1 to 70, and then the mega number is 1 to 25. So that's going to be a different set that we're going to take a look at. But first, we're going to do the number one, the first number to the fifth number on the lottery number page. Okay, so we have to lay out the numbers here from 1 to 70. So the way I like to do that is I'll start it off with 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll select that and just run it down to 70. And there's probably an easier way to do this. This is just how I do it. So you can do it any way you want. I'm just showing you the way I do it, and I, if you like doing it this way, that's cool. If you find an easier way to do it, that's great too. So on the frequency, we're going to use find if. Okay, so we're going to say, oh, I'm sorry, count if. So if we're going to do a count if, it's going to count how many times it comes up in a range. So equals count if. Right, and then we're going to highlight the first we're first to the five number set for the year. Let's do that. What just happened? Sorry guys, that was a glitch, so let's redo that. Okay, so let's try to do it again. Okay, we're gonna do the range again. So from here to here, and I don't do name ranges. I know some of you guys like to do name ranges. I don't like to do that. It's probably easier to do it that way, but I just don't do it. Okay, so now I've got that selected. I'm going to make that a. I'm gonna click function F4. Okay. Comma. See, I don't know why it's doing this. Stupid. Okay. And then the reference. So it's going to say it's going to look uh, in B2 to F102, and it's gonna look for K2, which is the number one, right? So when we pull this, and that's why uh, we have the dollar signs there to keep that as a permanent reference, right? So that's a permanent range is going to keep on looking at. It's not going to change when you extend it all the way down to number 70. It's going to keep on looking in there for these numbers in that set. So we're going to close parentheses that. Sorry for the sound of the fan. If you guys can hear that, I put a fan cooler on my MacBook Pro that I'm using for this. If you guys are interested in that, um, I'll I'll post a link in the description. So now we have that in there. So we're just going to extend it all the way down. Okay. So now It counted how many times number one came out in that set. Number two, number three, number four, number five, number six. Okay, so um, so number one came out 18 times, number two came out 12 times, number three came out 9 times, four 9 times, five 5 times, six times, seven times, eight 7 times, nine 3 times, and vice versa, right? Okay, so now that we have that, the next step is to find out how many times does each number come up in each column. So, and the reason for that is we're going to group these numbers uh, in a combined choose and ran between functions, and I'll show you guys that. And if it's Greek to you now, um, you'll understand it later. Once we start doing that, it's going to choose between a set of numbers, and then in that set of numbers, those are also randomizing in sets based on how many times if if these numbers don't come up in that column, why would you put it in there, right? So let's try that here. Okay, so coming up here on each numbered column here. So on column N1, which is column B, each each of these columns, the number with the numbers, is 101 cells. Okay, so you want to find out. Okay, so in each column, how many times did these come up, and so it'll give you a percentage of frequency to make a better decision on how you're going to deal with um, randomizing it in a way that's smart. So, um, so let's do that. Hold that. Okay, so now we're gonna see how we can find how many times these numbers come up in each row. So in each column. So this is a previous um, formula that I came up with. So I copied it from my previous spreadsheet when I was practicing that. So we're going to do Command V, and then we'll go over it anyway, right? So all right. So the formula is if is error, and then you do a VLOOKUP. Okay, and then we're gonna change these. Okay, so we're going to look at each one of these and say um, so B2 to B102. So that's this. So from here to B102, which is the end of the set, in that column, how many times does this number, the number one, comes up? Okay, so we're going to change this to okay. So we're going to click on this. Look at that. Okay, and see if this is the correct one. Yes. So B102 is the last cell, right? And then we want it to come up with a true. When it does find it in there, it's going to say true. We already know how many times it comes up in the set. We just want to know where it comes up on the on the columns, and I'll show you the reason for that later. Uh, so this is the equation used. So if is our VLOOKUP, the regular VLOOKUP equation, and then false true. Okay, so click enter here. So now, so we know that it is true in N1. Okay, we're going to change this also to K2. 2. So now we're not putting dollar signs on this one because we want it to move down. We want to change the reference going down. So it'll go K3 on the next when we start pulling down this formula to cover the rest of the numbers. Okay, so now we know that now we know that 1 comes up in the first position, does not come up in the second position, does not come up in the third position, and vice versa, right? So they are all false except for position 1. Okay, so we know that 1 comes up in the first position on the number line here for the lottery. So we're going to select all this now, and we're going to extend it all the way down to number 70. Okay. All right. So now we can see here that, and then we're not going to go over the whole thing, but I'm just going to, show you. So number 1 comes up in position 1, not in 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 2 comes up in position 1 and 2, but not in 3, 4, and 5. Number 3 is the same thing. Number 4 comes up in positions 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have that part of the problem solved, right? So we wanted to find out if that number comes up in that column. Okay, and that makes it easier later when we start um, randomizing and choosing, when we put that formula together for choosing and randomizing. Okay, so now we're going to start that here, and okay, so now I brought in the formula that I created in my other spreadsheet, and we're going to talk about this, and I'll show you how it's done. So and the reasoning behind why I did what I did. Okay, so you'll see that the formula I used here is choose, and then the ran between that means it's going to choose between positions 1, 2. Low number is 1, high number is 6. So positions 1. So this is position 1, which is the number 1, ran between 2 17s, position 2. This is position 3. This is position 4. This is position 5, and this is position 6. Okay, again, so this is position 1, right, which is the number 1, and the reason why it's got its own number 1's got its own position is because the frequency that it comes out there it came out 18 times in the year, so that's about 18%, right? But since there's you'll see later when we try doing when we start putting these numbers in sets, we'll see that some of these don't, like 7 and 5 don't come out, so the number 1 has its own position because it comes up pretty often. So 1 and 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Normally 18% will fall into like a 1 of 5, but since we can't do that, we'll do a 1 of 6. So it'll choose it one of 6 times. Okay, and then the other ones are sets. So let's, let's so okay. So let's do the choosing of the sets. So let's do that. Okay. So now remember, if you guys don't know, I'm sorry. If you guys don't know, every time you click enter in the cell, you put something in the cell and you click enter, these will recalculate. All of these will recalculate because you're doing a random number. So the choose function here is going to choose a random number between one of 6, and one of those numbers is a position in the formula, where 1 is this position, 2 is this position, 3 is this position, 4 is this position, 5 is this position, and 6 is this position. Okay? So So now we're going to start putting these numbers into groups, and we're gonna use the number 1 here as its own group, its own position, because it comes out pretty often in the column, and it doesn't come out in any other column. So we're gonna make its position pretty strong because we know it's gonna come out 18 times, right? And so it came out 18 times in 101 instances. So on this one, on this one, if you see here in this cell, I did a ran between 2 and 17. So on the ran between function, the first number is the so on this one. So the first number is the lowest number that's going to choose to a random number between. So it's going to do a random number between 2 and 17. So on this one, 2 and 17, because 2 and 17 here are true. Okay. Um, so okay, so let's look at that. So number 2 to 17 here are true. So we'll just put some color in that so we can identify which ones are in groups. So number 1 is in its own group. So that's going to be the outlier here in and call in number position, number 1 position. Okay. So the next true numbers, and then remember, 18 and 19 did not come out at all year in position 1. Okay. So we're going to skip the ones that say false because we know it's a very low probability of that. And remember, this is only for fun, okay? But it's just fun to talk about how you would go about solving the problem of getting a higher probability. So we know that all year long, number 18 and number 19 did not come out in the draw on the first position. So those are false. Okay. And then the other 2 numbers are here. So this is the third group. I'll color that. The fourth group is this. So 27, 28, 29 is the fourth group. Okay, the fifth group is number 31. Okay. The sixth group is 39 and 40. Okay, and then I don't think there are other true ones here. Yeah. So we know that there are 6 positions that we have to do in this formula. Okay. So from the 6 positions, we know that the first position is number 1. The second position is ran between 2 and 17. The third position is ran between 20 and 24. The fourth position is a ran between 27 and 29. Okay. The fifth position is going to be 31, and the sixth position is going to be 39 and 40. It's going to randomize. So that's exactly what I did here. Um, so going going in these, right? You're looking here, and no column one, the first position is going to be the number one column is going to be the basis where the all the other ones are going to be based off because you don't want to repeat any numbers that exist both in one and two or one, two, and three. So if, you don't want to kind of step over each other, right? So um, there's going to be an iteration of this where the two identical numbers come up, and it's going to happen. I tried it. I made the mistake of making this uh, just straight up without making a caveat on the numbers. So if you'll see here, so this is the basis, right? So on number on the first number in number two column, you'll see that it's a ran between 18 and 19 because that's true here, right? Although it is true here, there's numbers that are true here as well, but we covered all of those already in position number one. Okay, I know this is going to start to get confusing here, but just just follow me here, so we can so you can get it. And then so that's 18 and 19. So ran between 18 and 19 is going to choose between those two numbers whenever it chooses that position in the choose function. And then the next one is 25 and 26. So 25 and 26, right? So in position two, we chose 18 and 19. 25, 25, and 26. Okay. And vice versa. You just can't overlap with the first column. Okay. And the same thing goes for these other ones. So whatever you're already generating, the numbers you're already generating in this column, you can't generate here. Okay, so you can't choose any of those numbers. So that's why these are so high, right? So it ran between 43 and 44, 46 and 53, and 60 and 61 because you're already generating those other numbers in here. And the same thing goes for position number four column. Okay, whereas you're going to choose between 55 and 56, 59, ran between 62 and 66, and then 68. And then in number five, you're only choosing between 57, 58, 67, 69, and 70. Okay? All right, so you just go through this. Now you've created all of your numbers here, and you can just copy this, right? And then let me know in the comments section if you guys want this the spreadsheet. I'll send it to you. Comment with your email, and I'll email to whoever wants whoever wants it as well. Okay. So now, when I did this, I created 10,000 iterations of this set. Okay. Actually, let's do the mega number too. So the mega number is a little different because it has only 25 numbers in there. So let's take a look at that. Okay, for this one, we're going to do the mega number and the frequency over here. So we're not going to so it doesn't get too confusing, and I'm going to hide these two columns. Okay, so it doesn't get confusing. And then we're going to use the same method that we used for the regular numbers that are not mega numbers. So we know that the mega numbers are 1 to 25. So 1, 2, 3. Alright, so let's just do this. So let's select all of that, pull it down up to number 25. Okay, and then we're going to do a count if. And this is the range. Okay. And we're going to make that a, we put $cents in that one. And then the criteria would be this. Okay. So just the same way we did the other one. Close that. Enter. Okay. So now when we pull this, it's only going to reference that permanent set of numbers, and the reference is going to change. So now we know that these have come up this way. So in order to save time, I'm going to cut this for real quick, and then I'm going to pull the count that I already did for, and I already grouped it on my other spreadsheet. Okay, so now I have the numbers pulled in from my other spreadsheet, and this is going to be a little bit confusing, so bear with me, okay? So in this one, these are the numbers, and these are the frequencies, and I only took the top 4, okay? And you'll find that in here, in this set. Okay, I only took the top 4, and then to group those, so numbers 1, 2, and 3 go in one group, and then 7 goes into another group, 10 and 11 go into another group, 13, 14 go into another group, and vice versa, right? 17, 19, and 20, 23, 24. Okay, so those are the only numbers I'm going to use for my mega. So let's put that in here. So that's how many groups here. So that is 7 groups. Okay, so we're going to put mega here. Okay, false. Choose between 1, 7, and we're doing this because we're going to choose between the position 1 to position 7 in this formula. Right? And then the first position would be the set of numbers 1 to 3. So it will be ran between 1 and 3, comma. Okay, the second position is 7. So we just put a 7 in that one, comma. And the third position will be 10 and 11. So there's probably a better way to do this. This is just the way I did it, okay? The next is 13, 14. The next is 17. The next is 19 and 20. And the last one is 23 and 24. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we're going to make a lot of iterations of this. So if you pull this down, those numbers will keep on changing, like so. See? So as I keep pulling that down, it's going to keep on changing, and that's a good thing actually for this. So let me just make some space over here so you guys can see. Next thing I'm going to do. Okay. So now I'm going to pause this real quick, and then I'm going to make 10,000 iterations of this. So it'll be from here to 1001, 10001 row number. Okay, so let's select this again. Okay, and when we come back, it'll be all populated. Okay, now so it's all populated to about 10,000 iterations. So we're gonna hide this so that it's not confusing to look at. So hide these. Okay, and then expand this. Okay, there you go. Okay, so now we have 10,000 iterations of this, and to prove to you that there is, so for position T1 right now, we'll put 4 zeros here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. So we're at position 10,002. Oh, row 2, 10,002. Here. Okay. So now the reason for this, the reason why we did this, we wanted to get as many iterations as possible to get a homogeneous mix of sets of numbers, right? And that's going to set us up for the next thing we're going to do. So now we have a data set of 10,000 sets. Okay, so of course we're not gonna, put money on 10,000 sets of numbers unless you're able to, of course. Nobody's stopping you from doing that. But for mere mortals like I am, I'm going to choose maybe 40 sets of numbers, which is a little, that's going to be $2 per set. It's going to be $80 for me to spend, right? For example, I mean, so we want to get a homogeneous mix. So what we want to do is we want to get 40 sets of numbers, and it has to be random. So what do we do for random numbers? We randomize, right? So between 2 and 1002. So we hit 0. I'm sorry, equals rand between 2 and 10,002. Okay. See, every time we do that, it changes the number. So it's going to be a really good mix here. So now we need 40 of these, right? So let's pull it down. It's 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Okay. Now let's copy these because we're going to pull out of our data set, which is this one from column T and Y. I'm going to copy this because this is going to be our numbers now. We're going to do 40. Okay, so Okay, so you're probably wondering what these numbers are, right? So we generated these numbers here. We randomized between 2 and 1, or 10,000 and 2, because we wanted to get the cell position, right? So now we know that it's T U V W X Y. Okay, so now we have to say this cell is going to be T2296 cell, and then this cell is going to be U2296, right? And vice versa, right? So T to Y. Um, Now I got lazy and I just didn't want to research how to do that in a simpler way. But this is how I did it, and actually the way I did it made it change. It basically is so. Let's say this is the first cell, and then we're going down to the 40th cell, and it's going to be AH, right? So these are, thought was 200 cells. Uh, anyway, so we'll look at that later. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to say, okay, so equals, and we're going to combine text and what's in these cells. Okay. So in order to do that, you put do that. Okay. So we want T in there and this. Right, function for, okay. We don't want that reference to change. Right. So okay. So now it's not going to that cell, right? And there's a reason for that. So when we go through this later, you're gonna see why. We need to, because after we populate this, and then we're gonna go into each cell and press and click enter. It'll turn into cell T8679. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull this all the way back here. Right. Okay. And we're gonna take out the dollar signs here. So this is gonna be U without the dollar signs. V on the dollar signs. And there's probably an easier way to do this, but I'm just too lazy to find out. So that's V. So W. X. And Y. And the reason we did that is so that when we pull this down, it's not going to keep on referencing that one cell. So, all right, let's go populate the rest of this. Okay. You see, every time we do something in there, it changes, right? So now, I have to go into each cell now and click in there. And see, if you click in the formula bar and click enter or return, watch, it'll turn into that, what's in that cell, T471. Sorry, one more time. Oh, I forgot to do something. Oh, sorry, I forgot one step. So let's do this. So we have to do a we have to paste values. So copy, right, and C, copy, and then paste special values. Okay. Okay. Now we can go in there and do that. All right. I feel like a total dumbass right now. I forgot to put an equals in there so that it will do it. Um, so if you look here, this cell, once I put an equals in here, click enter, it goes to that. See, there you go. See, it goes there. So I'm gonna do that to all of these. So if you can imagine, if you keep on putting equals, it'll keep on changing. And I know this is how many. I thought it was 200 the last time I looked. So 240. So basically clicking each cell and changing each number, or making 200 iterations of 10,000 sets, is going to keep on jumping around and pulling from, pulling from these cells all over our data set. So that's about 2 million iterations if I got my math right. Um, so I'll pause this real quick. I'll do all of that. Like I'll keep on doing this, and so you don't get bored. And I'll return when I have it all changed with the equal sign. Okay, so now that's all populated. We're just going to copy and paste values here so it doesn't change anymore. Copy. Let's see. Paste special values. Okay. So here are your numbers. They're not going to be in order. I mean, you can just put that in order when you put it on the Scantron or scan paper for the Mega Millions Lotto. So I'm sorry about my chair, it's squeaky. So yeah, that's how I do it. That's how I did it. So and like I said, I'm just doing this for fun. I don't want anybody coming back and saying, "Well, I did your technique and I didn't win anything." Well, you know, that wasn't the point. We're just doing this for fun, so to see if you can actually do it on Excel and create numbers on Excel from the original data set, and eliminate the numbers that are you don't think it's going to come out because they came out false on those columns. So anyway, I hope this was entertaining for y'all. I know it was for me, but then I really like Excel, and I really like spreadsheets. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Leave any comments in the comment box there, and in the description. You can. I'm gonna put my links on there from my affiliate links. Please support them. And I'm also going to put there, a link to my PayPal, just in case you find any kind of value in this, what I'm doing. Please help support my channel. Um, and that's it. Until next video, thank you very much. Like or subscribe. Thank you.